Hey everybody, it's Natalie with Treasures Mini. This is going to be our card that we are making in this video using stencils and glitter. And I love glitter and I love stencils and I like being able to combine the two and making a huge mess. So the stencil that I use, well, first of all, I want to show you, if you can tell, that has an embossed look to it. And that's because I'm using this new embossing folder, or new to me. And it is called Butterfly Frames, and it embosses and cuts out at the same time. I thought it was really, really cool. So I did run that glitter piece through it, and that's what I was pointing out a second ago, is that it did have a slight embossed look to it. This is the stencil that I used on this particular card, but on the card that we're making today, I'm going to use this stamp, which is called Mini Daisy Cluster. So to do this, you're going to need a piece of white solar cardstock, Nina Solar White cardstock, and some of this stick and peel double-sided sheets. Now I cut my sheet out to the size that I want my card. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. And I am peeling off one side and sticking it down on my piece of Nina Solar White. And with my bone folder, I'm burnishing it really well. Then I'm going to set that aside and take some Versamark. And I'm going to put this Versamark all over one side of my stamp. And what this is going to do is it keeps the stamp from sticking like permanently to the sticky paper. You'll see in just a second. So we're going to peel the other side of this off, and don't throw these away. You're going to use them again. And then we're going to take our stamp with the Versamarked side facing down, and you're going to lay it over the sticky piece exactly the way you're going to want it on your card. So I'm lining it up the way I want it. And then with that release page that we just used, I'm going to put it back over it and burnish it down really well with my bone folder. I'm just going to go over the whole area, and using the release paper keeps it from sticking to the sticky parts. Now I'm going to take some Martha Stewart silver glitter, excuse me, and I'm going to just pour that all over this. And the glitter is only going to stick where the stencil isn't. And the piece of paper that I have under this is just a regular piece of paper that I had laying around, and I folded it in half so that I could dump my glitter back on it and then dump it back into my bottle. So I've got it all on here, and I'm just going to shake it around real good, tap it, make sure it's sticking in all the sticky spots. And then before I dump it completely off, I'm going to take that piece again and burnish it again, because you just want to make sure you're getting it all in the sticky to where there's no sticky left. Then with any brush you have, or even a napkin or whatever you want, brush off all the extra. And this is really important. You want to get it all off, because when you pull up your stencil, you don't want any bits of glitter to fall in your sticky surfaces that are left. So when you have it all off and you're good and clear, no glitter in the way, go ahead and pull your stencil up. And now you have sticky spots left for more glitter. And I'm just making sure to get off the little bit of excess that's still on the paper so that it doesn't get in my flowers. So normally, if you did this in like a striped motion, you could do one at a color at a time and put your excess back in. But I wanted my flowers just to be different colors all over. So I'm going to go ahead and mix all 3 of my colors, which I'm using a green, a pink, and a purple, good Eastery colors. And I'm just putting them down where I feel like it would be pretty. And I don't throw this away. I actually put this in a container and save it, because it does make a real pretty color. And then again, using that release paper, I'm going to just burnish it down really good in the area. And then I'm taking the release paper off and doing it with just my bone folder. It is kind of messy. And then with that same brush, I'm just brushing it off really well. And if you watch real closely here, you can see the purple changing colors where I've burnished and where I haven't. Burnishing over it again is It just helps it look more velvety and stick really good. Now, how pretty is this? This is so pretty. I'm in love with this technique. It's an older technique. I just haven't done it in probably like a year and a half. So we were using the February Simon or March Simon Says stamp card kit, and I wanted to show you another way you could do this. So I put down another sticky piece that I cut to the exact size of the stencil that came in the March Simon Says stamp card kit. I got it right that time. I'm going to put Versamark all over one side of it, peel up that release backing, and then with the Versamark side down, I'm going to lay it back down, and then we're going to do something a little different this time. Instead of glitter, I'm actually going to use one of the Nuvo paste. So I wasn't sure if this would work. It was kind of a last minute thought. That's why I didn't do it on the card. But I'm taking this color, and this came in that card kit, and I'm just going to smear it all around over the stencil. And I like to do this patting motion after I'm done because it gives it texture. And then I'm going to peel it up. Now this technique does take a little longer because you got drying time. So you peel it up, and look at that. You've got your little flowers on the Easter egg. Now you're going to have to set this aside and let it dry for a while. Once you do, look, all I did was dump the glitter over it, and now I have an egg. You could cut this out in the shape and just have a glittery egg, or you could leave it in a whole square like this. I thought it was so cool using the Nuvo paste with it too. So anyway, I just wanted to share that real quick because I had just kind of thought of it while I was doing the other pieces. So back to the other piece. The piece that we made, I am going to put in this embossing folder, and I'm going to run it through my Big Shot. Now it does stick to the embossing folder, so you got to kind of pull at it a little bit, but it does not leave glitter on your embossing folder, and it will pull up. However, this time it did not cut all the way through. When I made the other two cards, I had no problem. It cut it. I don't know what the problem was this time, but it did peel up a layer. And since I'm just going to kind of like be doing an inlay, I figured it was fine. I could use it anyway. So I picked a piece of pattern paper that also came from the kit that I thought would work well with this piece, and I ran it through as well. Now you can see I'm going to take the insert from one and put it in the other. So this is going to be a top folding card. This is cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And with some Tombow, I'm going to cover the back of that. I'm going to line it up at the top of my card. That's the way I always do. I always figure out if it's done right at the top of my card. And then I know it'll be right all the way through the rest. And I just flipped it over. This is the inlay piece that we cut from the pattern paper, and I thought it'd be neat just to kind of make it look like it had a little bit of shadow. So with some mint macaroon, I went around the edges, and with some Tombow, I'm gluing it in place. Now, with that die cut, if you saw, it had little butterflies that die cut out, and I wanted to kind of put them back in the same spot. So I just laid the other piece down, put a little glossy accents, and then laid my butterfly in it. And I just did that over and over again until I got them all in. I think there's like 6 butterflies all together. But you can see they don't show up that well. But I figured it would be all right anyway, because I'm going to put glossy accents over them after the end, and it makes them stand out. So you can see how we've been able to get 2 cards with this. So from the stamp set that came in the March card kit as well, I went on and stamped 2 chickies, and I'm going to let you watch me color one of them with some Copics. The numbers at the top are written in the order that I lay them down, and I'm sorry about my dog. I don't know if the postman's coming or what, but he barks at everything. It kind of drives us crazy, but we love him, so We deal with it. Hopefully he won't bark anymore. But anyway, so when I get done with the little chickens, I am going to fussy cut them out, and I am going to cut their legs off because I'm just going to draw those in when I get them on the front of the card, either with a Copic fine liner or my Micron pen. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to color his beaks and give him some pretty pink cheeks. I really hope this video is making sense, guys. It's been kind of a rough week for me with getting ready for surgery and all that mess. So, so I wanted to go ahead and show you one of the cards, what it's going to look like when it's done. And we're going to repeat the same process on the other card. So these eggs were on one of the pattern papers that came in the kit as well, and I just fussy cut a bunch of them out, and to give them a little bit of dimension, I have lightly gone around the edges of all of them with some Stampin' Up! Ink, and I had the names of them written up top. I think it was Strawberry Slush, Daffodil Delight, and Mint Macaron. And I'm just laying my eggs out and my little chickie out just to kind of see how I want to arrange them on my card surface. I like to lay things out before I glue them down. I really get ahead of myself and make a mess sometimes. So this is kind of how I think I want them, but I am going to pop the two front smaller eggs up on some dimensionals to give it a little depth. But the big yellow egg and the big pink egg, I'm just going to glue those down with some Tombow. And you can see I'm doing that here. I don't know, I was at a loss for words for a second. I have always got plenty to say about everything, guys, but for some reason when I get on here and I need to talk, it's like a brain fart or something. Like, I have no idea. I forget that how to talk. So the dimensionals that I used, you've seen me use them before. The Stampin' Up! Ones are real thin, and then I use another brand that's a little bit thicker, so it lets me layer the dimension. And then with some Tombow, I'm going to glue my little chick down. And you can see here that I realized my chicken cannot stand upright the way I had my eggs positioned. So luckily I was able to peel the corners up of two of them and kind of wiggle in another tiny egg behind it, and I glued that down, and then I was able to draw little legs on my chicken. So there was a mistake that I was able to save. The saying was also in the stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and I just layered it on matching cardstock and a white piece and stamped Hey Chickie. And here you can see with the glossy accents I'm going over the butterflies, and I also do some of the spots on the eggs, and I do the chickie's little beak and little cheeks. And here we have it. Now this is the other one. I want you to know that with a Jelly Roll yellow pen, I went over the butterflies in this one to give it a little pop, and then used glossy accents over those butterflies. And I used some glossy accents on the beak and the cheeks and some spots on the eggs as well. So here are the two cards that we made today with the glitter stencil backgrounds. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was easy to follow along with. Please give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And when you hit subscribe, make sure to click on the bell so it'll notify you every time I put out a video, and it helps you stay connected. Also, remember I have a new YouTube channel called Paved with Fruit, and I encourage you to check that out as well. Until next time, hugs and loves, my friends, from my craft room to yours. Bye.